position here, and we'll might be seeing a great semi-finals name here if the German team manages to win today, and the Japanese team as well. Japanese team has already shown quite some strength. They have a fantastic match yesterday, supported by the crowd in Tokyo, of course, playing not 100 but rather 110% all throughout the team. So they are a force to be reckoned with for the Chinese as well. Let's get back to this table here, table number 2 in the Yoyogi Gymnasium. Two veterans of the sport fighting it out for the second point. It is 1-0 for Germany over Singapore, and it's now Timo Boll, actually the number 2. I still have to get used to that for the German team against Gauning.
Let's call it that the Germans, they have 2 number 1 players.
I would certainly like to hear that.
Maybe to talk shortly about Gauning. To my point of view, first of all, he has also here during this World Team Championship quite a remarkable record. I think from 10-1, only lost in the group match stage against Timo Boll. But also his attitude towards the game. He stays so calm. Yesterday I've seen him play against Karlsson from Sweden, and he was down 2-1, 10-7. And he still looked like nothing will happen. I'm relaxed. I'm Mr. Gauning. I'm Mr. Super Safe. And actually, that's exactly what happened. He just turned the game again and he won 3-2. Really quite remarkable.
Exactly, very calm and collected. Very smart player as well. So is Timo Boll, by the way. Impressive stats here. Too many victories to be recounted in this short introduction. He's 33 years old, world rank number 9. His opponent, Gauning from Singapore, 31 years, world rank 14.
Actually, shortly one more time about the last match between these two in the group. It was really a close match, actually. 1-1, 5-1. Gauning was up before Timo Boll was ready to turn this game. So it's really a close encounter, a really difficult match. And I think also Timo Boll has to play his best or close to his best in order to beat Gauning. And on the other hand, I think the Singapore team needs Gauning to, because they will still, of course, hoping to win this match, or this overall match, and there they need 2 points from Gauning, and then they need to just hope.
Also always crucial to have an experienced player in the ranks just to lead the team, really. Experience, very much important in table tennis, actually.
See, for example, Vladimir Samsonov with the age of 38, still playing on a really high level.
Yeah. So let's get into this match. As we've seen before, it's a best of 5. It's Timo Boll versus Gauning.
First game, Singapore to serve, love all.
Number 14 against the number 9 in the world. At least as far as world ranking is concerned, quite an open matchup.
1-1.
Very good serve. Something that Timo Boll has recently been working on is the quality of the serve. He's always had a good serve, but in the last few games I've seen of him on a big stage, they were really excellent.
2-all.
Start to be like some rallies there. We won't see too often that Timo is really going for this really fast top spins. It's more about placement, putting the ball in the right position there.
Exactly, and with him it's all about spin as well. Said to have one, maybe the heaviest spin in the forehand topspin.
2-3.
And this is also a question of the amount of spin when he starts to open his backhand flick. Doesn't seem to be so fast, but it's like so spinny.
I don't know if that was intentional. I think he just misread the spin on Gao Ning's serve, but it worked out nonetheless, as Gao Ning was surprised too by the unusual serve receive of Timo Boll.
I think Gao Ning, also to speak shortly about Gao Ning's service, the spin and no spin service, the straight service, he has very big variation inside. The no spin service is really no spin, the backspin has heavy backspin, difficult to read. Timo had troubles with that before.
4-3.
And of course, as you mentioned, Timo's keep on working on his service, sometimes drifting out a little bit half long. He doesn't like that too much.
3-5.
2 times now, not the perfect service. Still gained 1 point, as Gao Ning was surprised about the jump of his second reverse service. Good start down the line, and then this block of Gao Ning is very, very safe. Just put the ball in the middle position of Timo, and then Timo missed 1 extra step there. He was trying to put the ball also long in the middle there from Gao Ning. Gao Ning this time was ready. Quite early the way he put that ball in the deep forehand of Timo.
Timo Boll in his career
5-all
was sometimes stopped by injuries. It's always a question of how fit is Timo for this competition here.
5-6.
I thought Timo had him already there, but then Gao Ning turned around. Actually, he looks a bit heavy altogether, the way he's acting, but the way he's moving, it's always quite good to my point of view. Good footwork of Gao Ning.
7-5.
Good reaction there from the middle, but Timo Boll was coming back a little bit too slow, missed the second ball. He shouldn't miss that, he should be ready for this, as Gao Ning has a good control of the ball all the time.
Concerned look on the face of the German supporters. Jörg Roskopf, Steffen Mengel, Dimitri Ovtcharov.
7-6.
I like how the backhand topspin is really always an indication of how good Timo on that day really is.
Yeah, very often the backhand topspin and also the block that he stays in front there, that he's not stepping backwards. He did good now in this rally.
6-8.
We see something that Gao Ning is doing very often. This backhand topspin not too often is cross, but very often down the line, trying to attack Timo's backhand. To check in, how good is your block today? Nice one. And see how nicely he moved there to the forehand. And that's what we said. He's not winning the ball with the first or second ball, but he keeps working there. And you see so perfect placement. Still 8-7 for Gao Ning.
I have to say, mixed performance by Timo Boll. Maybe he needs another game here to settle into the match.
Needs this second step. Speaking about connection,
it's about footwork.
To come back fast enough there.
Let 9-7.
Was successful, not for the first time, with his backhand flick.
Tense situation in the business end of this first game.
It's the
will
question.
Be in the lead.
It's the question if Gao Ning should step around on that, if he sees this early enough.
Let 9-8.
That was not a good serve at all. I think he mistimed it a bit. that cannot have been intentional. Watch this, very high bounce, very little spin on there. Surprisingly, not as aggressively played from Timo Boll.
No, but just about placement. I think he wanted to put the ball safe into the deep forehand there. And also, Gao Ning lost a little bit also the body tension after he realized that this service was pretty bad. Really a service mistake, actually.
Very well done. Gao Ning has shown sometime over this tournament this inside-out topspin from the backhand corner. And Timo Boll knew that this was going to happen and then played it down the line. It was fantastically placed and it gave him 1 game point.
All.
This was a chance, like he wanted to play the ball down the line, which would have been the right placement of the ball. But then a little bit putting inside the ball, he was moving away. And I think good idea tactically from Timo on the one hand to start flicking the ball, and Gao Ning was ready for this time, trying to step around, but like he was also missing this extra step there. So it's first game point for Timo Boll.
11-all.
I think he hurt his elbow there. We had that yesterday also with Thiago Apollonia.
Interesting though, is it just my imagination or is Timo just a bit slow when moving to his forehand?
Yeah.
He's been late a couple of times now.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a little bit moving there, a bit too late there. He has to be a little bit more dynamic inside.
He has another game point to work with. Gao Ning starts to complain. This can be, from a mental perspective, a good thing for Timo Boll. See that the opponent is not happy.
From Gao Ning's point of view, I think this flick could have been also to the deep backhand of Timo. So far, Timo was not that aggressive with his backhand.
And there it is, fantastic backhand cross-court, something that Timo Boll is known for. Dimitri Ovtcharov applauding his teammate here, 13-11, 1-0 the lead for Timo Boll.
Nee, draußen ist er irgendwo liegen. Oder die Birgit hat ihn mitgenommen.
Always interesting to see Timo Boll during coaching. He always looks a bit vacant, like he's not really there. Can you understand what Jörg Oskar was telling him?
Well, I didn't quite get it. I also tried to listen, but I think it's more about like staying calm, finding the rhythm, and with this last game point he made, he also found the backhand back, which he was missing a couple of times before. So I think it's about still finding the rhythm and going the way.
Let. Love all. 0-1. One all.
He certainly looks determined, Gauning.
Shaking his head there. After parallel, a little bit faster backhand diagonal, but then he was coming up. Also not too happy with the bounce of the ball, I think. And this time, yeah, and this time he was ready after this flick to the deep forehand. He was a bit earlier there. And then he followed the ball quite nicely.
He did. And it's 2-2. Mixed start from both players in the second game.
Well,
that looked a bit weird. Was very upright from Timo Boll. Very stiff upper body there. I thought for a second it was not going to go over the net anyway, but it did somehow. And it confused Gauning quite a bit.
And here we see what usually is happening if Gauning started too much with the backhand cross. Timo Boll is there with a good counter spin, steady building up this point.
All good length on the serve. Timo Boll tried to get in there with the backhand serve receive. Bounced twice to his surprise. If this wasn't the second game, I would say both players still a bit nervous.
Well, I think you mentioned that right. Both players there was still like having some good rallies there, missing some easy balls. Still not the perfect way how to move, but it's on both sides. This time good attack from Timo Boll after this reverse service he's known for.
Let 5-4.
This is inside out with the backhand. Very good moving there. I thought that Gauning had this ball.
But what about this topspin? I mean, there was absolutely no length on there. Do you think that was incidental, or was that really his intention now?
I think he had a little bit of bad position in the forehand, and he was not sure that Timo was coming back fast enough. But Timo is known, especially this step from deep forehand to deep backhand. We've seen this quite some time, to have a little bit side spin there, even with his backhand topspin.
4-7.
That was much better. 3 points in a row to the German. 7-4, that is. Bit of a vocalization here. Clenching his fists. He wants to win it. At least be in the lead. 2-0. And 8-4.
And I have the feeling at this moment that Timo Boll is finding a bit the rhythm there, and Gauning altogether starts to be a bit passive. Maybe this backhand topspin 2-3 points before was crucial for Timo to getting inside the ball. He found better and better his stability there, I believe.
8-5.
We have another question on Twitter. The question is, why is Patrick Baum not in the squad? Well, that's easily explained, because he's been sick. Coach gave him until Tuesday to get better, to fly to Japan, but didn't make it in time, so still sick. Wish him a speedy recovery, by the way. It's the second player from Germany to actually not be in Japan here. The other one is Bastian Steger, who's injured. Was replaced by Steffen Mengel.
And I think
game point Timo Boll.
And I think Timo Boll really found his rhythm a little bit better there altogether, while Gauning, to my point of view, after this longer rally there, starts to be a bit passive.
See, once again,
10-6.
moving into the forehand side. I don't know what's going on there with Timo Boll. He seems a bit stiff in the forehand. Didn't really go down into his knees there.
But this ball usually he's not missing there. So he's a little bit sometimes losing the body stability. In this way, you are right. Nevertheless, he's doing quite some small points, some little points, and he has 10-7 lead.
Cleverly done.
11-7,
Was just
Germany
waiting
wants
until the
the
forehand side opened up, and he had the instinct to just gently play the topspin into the deep forehand of Gao Ning, which was unreachable for his opponent. 11-7, 2-0 the lead for Timo Boll.
Thank you.
Third game commencing, ladies and gentlemen, at the 2014 World Team Table Tennis Championships quarter-finals match of the men's division.
Third game.
Singapore versus Germany.
Singapore to
Germany
serve.
after the victory of
Level.
Dimitri Ovtcharov up 1-0 and 2-0 the lead of Timo Boll over Gao Ning so far.
Oh, he was ready there. He was fast,
1-0.
attacking the backhand flick of Timo Boll with a good ball down the line. We see here very early, very fast. Quick reaction of Timo, but against the next topspin, he was just too late.
One all.
Timo at this moment, he's winning this small point, with little points, with short to the forehand side, where Gao Ning is a little bit late. Sometimes a bad receive from Gao Ning, taking after with a good forehand topspin. Nicely set up there.
2-1.
Good angle. This is how usually we know Timo Boll. At working the points over, nicely structured.
Look at the precision, especially on the preparing topspin right on the white line. And the next one deep into backhand. As fast as Gao Ning can be. That was too much for him.
Hold. 2-1.
Timo Boll pointing to the net there. Was a lead serve, only seen by him, very fair gesture. Then again, that is what he's known for.
And that's good.
1-3.
After this long return to the backhand side, whenever Gao Ning starts cross in the forehand of Timo Boll, Timo has this body stability to get a good counter topspin there. Gao Ning shouldn't go too often cross.
Let. 2-3.
Forehand push there, maybe a bit early by Timo Boll.
Second ball, I mean, Gao Ning has quite some good spin inside there, but this second ball in the backhand, like Timo, was a little bit off timing there, a little bit upright, maybe too much. But the major problem was that he was not reading the spin of Gao Ning right. This spin and no spin service of Gao Ning is really difficult to see. The amount of spin and no spin really causes him some trouble there.
Luck in the play too. These things happen, of course. Cannot do without. Usually it evens out overall game. footwork all too much. Gowning did block the ball back to Timo several times, but look at this here. This was also a bit late, and it looked quite relaxed since he knew he was going to score anyway from that point on.
And this time, Gowning was ready for the flick again, but Timo was also ready for this fast attack in the back and there. These points, they are important. Of course, like he has to increase his footwork a bit there, but especially first ball, second ball, that's something Timo has to work on, and there he did right. Talking shortly about timing, you've mentioned that whenever you take the ball a bit later, you give more time to the opponent. This time after the flick, the ball was fast in Timo Boll's forehand, and he just took the ball off the bounce a little bit earlier there.
Timeout.
Pressuring Gowning onto the body. The Singaporean player completely missing the shot. And it's a timeout by the Singaporean coach. Look how slowly Gowning moves to the timeout here.
I think he always moves a little bit slow to the timeout. As I say, it's difficult to read him. He always keeps the concentration there. He's always trying to play his best table tennis. But you see there in the background how fast Timo Boll is back. So I think really like Timo has the focus on the game, has the control of the game.
And you've done in your time some coaching of Timo Boll, and therefore more than anyone else you know that Timo has always his own ideas about the game, and he very listens to the coach but brings in his own ideas as well.
Definitely filtering a lot what is important for him and what not. And I think he's in this way, he's on good track.
He's in a comfortable lead and 2-0 up, so why shouldn't he be? He has his own serve to work with, maybe score one more point here. Yeah, he does.
4-8.
Good quality.
And good quality of the service, especially when this reverse service stays above the table, stays short, it's difficult to read. Not many players can return this ball good shot.
And 9-4. And I have no doubt at this point that we might be seeing a 3-0 victory of Timo Boll. He only needs 2 more points to go.
To my point of view, crucial was this first game. And then the longer the game took, the more Timo Boll took the control. I mean, we've seen quite some comeback there, even after 2-0 and 9-4. We've seen that before. But I also believe if Timo Boll is taking and keeping the concentration, he will win this game 3-0.
Yeah, and it's match point at this point, 10-5. Well, we see that reverse serve short with backspin. We do, and it works one more time.
Germany won third game
with
of
the third ball, Timo Boll takes it. It's 11-5 in the third. That was a dominant game of Timo Boll, although not the best I've seen of him, to be honest. Still some things he needs to improve in order to play in a possible semi-finals, most likely against Japan then. But so far, so good for him. It is 13-11, 11-7. 11-5, that makes 3 games to 0 for Timo Boll and a 2-0 lead for Germany.